From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
Pennsylvania still has a ban on same-sex marriage, but that hasn't stopped Montgomery County from issuing marriage licenses to gay couples. The move for marriage equality appears to be building. Now local officials weigh in. Gay marriage rights, our top story on News 13 for Tuesday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christina Papa. Pennsylvania still has a ban on same-sex marriages, but that hasn't stopped Montgomery County from issuing marriage licenses to gay couples. As Matthew Petrillo tells us, marriage equality still has some legal hurdles in the way before coming to our area.
Family is the backbone of society.
Teresa Santi-Gaffney has been issuing marriage licenses in Schuylkill County for a year and a half. The Register of Wills says she was shocked when she heard Montgomery County was issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples.
As an elected official, we are sworn in to uphold the law within the boundaries of the court system.
The Supreme Court overturned the Defense of Marriage Act, but gay couples can only be married in states that approve same-sex marriage. Pennsylvania does not. A state version of DOMA from 1996 still bans marriage equality in the Commonwealth.
Marriage is defined as a civil contract by which one man and one woman takes each other as husband and wife.
That's at least according to the law. So why does this state even care? Well, the government offers couples incentives to get married, like health and survivor benefits, says accountant Jack Mundy.
In Pennsylvania, there's no inheritance tax between husband and wife.
But gay couples face obstacles to inheriting anything at all. In fact, gay couples are denied more than 1,000 rights because of DOMA. Now, while the state of Pennsylvania still defines marriage as only between one man and one woman, some advocates for marriage equality are trying to change that. The ACLU of Pennsylvania filed a lawsuit earlier this month seeking to overturn the ban. Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Keynes says she will not defend the state's gay marriage ban. And when it comes to love and marriage, more Americans say gay couples should have the same rights as their straight counterparts. A Gallup poll released Monday shows 52% of Americans would vote in favor of legalizing gay marriage across the country. So while the marriage licenses in Montgomery County are not recognized by the state, it is a political slap in the face to officials in Harrisburg sitting on the issue. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
The girlfriend of a Hazel Township shooting victim pled the fifth on the stand in court yesterday. 29-year-old Jessica Alinsky used her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination when called to the witness stand during a rare coroner's inquest trial in Luzerne County Monday. Alinsky's boyfriend, 34-year-old Matthew Gailey, was shot and found dead in his home in Eagle Rock back in 2011. The cause of Gailey's death was unclear at the time of the shooting, but state police and Luzerne County's DA's office called circumstances surrounding the case suspicious. Alinsky called police the night of the shooting saying her boyfriend shot himself after the two had an argument, but Alinsky has given police several stories since then. The inquest trial allows jurors, attorneys present, and the coroner to ask witnesses questions. The jury of 6 chosen yesterday are set to determine how exactly Gailey died. And just a week ago, several YMCA campers were pulled from the bus accident on 81 on stretchers. Stephanie Gorney visited the Hazleton YMCA today to find out how those little ones are doing.
Believe it or not, these YMCA campers who were in a school bus accident just last Friday, when a tractor trailer hit them from behind, returned to camp at the start of this week.
Kids are doing fine. They're back in the gym now, running around, playing. We have a game scheduled this afternoon. Used to be on TV. I'm in it to win it. So that's a new activity they're going to be doing this afternoon. So they are doing well. It was bumps and bruises and, kind of the trauma of being in a situation like that.
The campers were on their way to the JFK pool in Pottsville when the accident occurred. First responders say that the scene was at first hectic, but the children were great through all of it.
The kids that were in the bus that was involved in the accident was actually, they were very good. They were listening. Some of them were crying, which is expected. But everything that we asked them to do, they did. They helped us. We went in and talked to them. Some of them were very scared because of their ages. They wanted their parents, of course, But, all of our providers reassured them, that they would meet their parents at the hospital.
The YMCA staff commends the first responders on how well they were with the children and how fast they reacted to the scene.
The emergency responders and the police and the fire, Chief D'Andrea was there, the hospital staff. I think the healing for these kids began immediately because of the gentleness and compassion with which they were treated, since there was no major injury, but the scariness about the whole thing. They responded to the children so well.
Most of the children have returned back to camp, as well as all of the staff who were involved. One staff member was flown to Lehigh Valley Medical Center for treatment, but is expected to be fine as well.
One staff person still in Lehigh Valley, but expected to be discharged today or tomorrow. So everybody's back at work pretty much and doing well as expected.
The YMCA does not see this accident as a setback for their camp and has already had additional children sign up to join in the summer fun. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
Well, what started as a spring cleaning project turned into a summer project to collect crutches for those in need. Earlier this month, News 13 met with recent Minersville graduates when they started collecting crutches to send to Africa. When we first spoke with the girls, they only had a total of 12 crutches, but as they ended their drive this past weekend, they had more than they could have imagined.
Raising funds to get replacement parts for the crutches that we've received so far, and we got quite a few. We have over 100 pairs at the moment, and about a good 10% of them need replacement parts, probably more than 10%. And, you know, it's not a cheap item to get, so we need to get them funds.
And the girls are taking the crutches up to Connecticut on Thursday, where they will get packaged and shipped off to Africa. Still ahead on News 13, some drearier days in the forecast. We'll tell you when you may need to bring out that raincoat again, but first, when it rains, it pours. 2 cities tearing down crumbling buildings when News 13 continues. One building in Hazleton, now considered an eyesore, is on its way down and residents couldn't be happier. The Trangutch Tire Service garage, located at the intersection of 22nd and North Church Street, is mostly just a pile of rubble now. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency stated that the building was potentially responsible for leaking gasoline, which got into the groundwater and put off fumes. Over time, the decaying building posed multiple threats for those who were on the property, as well as the nearly 450 homes that were affected by the leak. Mayor Yanuzzi was pleased to see the building go down. He thinks the area will attract plenty of buyers once it's all cleaned up.
I'll tell you, he will have a lot of offers once he clears that building out. It looks much better with the building down than it did with that half a building up. The longer it stood up, the more it deteriorated, and it just kept looking worse and worse. And right now, it's looking better.
Process, but the building is almost completely down now. And Wilkes-Barre's iconic Hotel Sterling building is no more. The remaining walls of the crumbling Hotel Sterling were knocked down during demolition this morning in Wilkes-Barre. It took the demolition team 3 days to completely knock down the 7-story building. Hotel Sterling stood as the gateway to Wilkes-Barre for over a century, but in more recent years, the building has become run down and marred with graffiti. Now that the building has been razed, the 2-month construction project will continue as crews go on with cleaning that site. And as the demolition continues, others in our area are building. Local artists in Schuylkill County are showing off their stuff at the Walk-in Art Center. It's a collaborative project, and as Matthew Pertillo tells us, it will leave any novice or expert art observer walking away in awe.
The Walk-in Art Center in Schuylkill Haven has an open house every first Saturday of the month, but the gallery here is different than most. The artists themselves will all be here answering questions and taking your constructive criticism about their art.
I'm here making baskets and weaving, so I get to show everybody what it's like, how to do it. They can see the different design elements. I'd like to show the children how to do different things, and it's always fun to talk about the craft with people when they come in.
Felsker's baskets are unique.
I like to try different patterns. I like to try different colors. I like to see the play between the different types of reed and how they're woven and how the different colors all mix together.
But there's way more than baskets, like photography.
It's great to have a place like this to come to. Nothing like this has existed before in Schuylkill County.
In the studios you can see something that is very emotional, and other ones that are very more abstract, other ones that are not afraid of color, and other ones that are much more subdued. So every artist is different and every craft is different. So well, I think that I'm very honored and feel very happy to work with all of them here.
She says there's something for everyone here. So say no one's ever been to an art gallery, or if they've been to dozens, why should they come out here?
Well, this is a community center too, so it's much easier to come here. You don't have to pay a fee, or you don't have to feel that it's just you have to purchase or buy or anything. You're coming here to see what the artists are doing. You don't need to go to New York City.
But this space wasn't always an art gallery. Now, this art space has been retrofitted from an old shoe factory that was first built in 1899. And now it's a gorgeous art space with 15 studios like this one. Each studio has a door that was donated from the community, and each artist is supposed to enhance their doors. The open house runs from 1 to 6 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Schuylkill Haven.
And time now for our first look at regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, not too much going on. Mostly ground reflection from the radar out of Binghamton today, but as the week goes on, the weather gets a little drearier, so enjoy those comfortable blue skies while you can. And that's exactly what our creative condition shows for today. It's a sunny picture drawn by Hazleton Elementary Middle School student Cindy Gutierrez, and she says the picture shows people swimming on a hot day, tanning and eating ice cream. And time now for a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service. First, for Greater Hazleton, tonight mostly clear with a low around 57. For Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 78. At night, a chance of showers with a low around 61. And Thursday, showers and then thunderstorms likely late in the day. And moving on to Schuylkill County for partly cloudy with a low around 58 today, and for tomorrow, partly sunny with a slight chance of showers in the late afternoon with a high near 79. Wednesday night will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers again. Later on, the low temp will be around 62. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. Today's daily number 312, the big 4 4158, Quinto 82732. Treasure Hunt 2, 16, 20, 22, and 26. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, more drivers are needed for the American Cancer Society Road to Recovery program in all NEPA counties. Whether you live in the county or in the city, your help is needed. For more information about the Road to Recovery program, please call 570-462-9749. And finally, the Mock Chunk Opera House will be holding several upcoming events. August 15th, Dust Bowl Revival. August 17th, Coriel, Bailey and White. August 30th, Billy Burnett Band. August 31st, Deb and Bev's Blues Night Out. For more information about any of these shows or tickets, please call 570-325-0249 or check out mockchunkoperahouse.com. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Thomas J. Ballas of Hazleton. Funeral will be held Thursday at 9 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. And also tonight, in loving memory goes out to Anthony Brodsman, sadly missed with love from your family. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Doves of White, serving Schuylkill and surrounding counties. Call 570-205-1597.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr.
Well, Russ Kanzler's Indianapolis Indians broke out of their hitting woes. They put 8 runs on the board. Unfortunately, it was not enough. They would give up 9, and so finally when the bats click in, the pitching, well, and the defense goes a little bit south. Final in this one, Syracuse, 9-8 winners over the Indians. The Sky Chiefs, as you see, banged out 15 hits and came away with the 1-run win. Now, Russ Kanzler wasn't part of the festivities at all. He didn't start in the game. He did get in the game, played 2 innings at third base. He did get 1 at bat, was 0 for 1. But he was not in the starting lineup yesterday, so we'll see what happens when that series continues. Actually, Scranton-Wilkes-Barre on the short end of things, the Louisville 5-3, despite Adonis Garcia having a couple of extra base hits, including going yard. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, they clobbered Pawtucket. Final in that one, 9-1. Now, Scranton-Wilkes-Barre, they head on the road. Where are they going? They're going out to pay a visit to Russ Kanzler. Maybe they could bring him some third base hoagies or something along the way. But Scranton Wilkes-Barre and Indianapolis tonight in downtown Indy. Meanwhile, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs welcome in Rochester. They come off the road trip, and they'll start things tonight down at Coca-Cola Park. Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay Rays, will they remain hot? David Price, for the second time in 5 days, beat the Red Sox at Fenway Park. They got a little bit of help from the umpires and a call that probably should have tied the game up, but they'll take it. The Rays have lost a couple like that this year anyway, so I guess they equal out. But they start interleague with Arizona coming to the Trop for a couple of games. Meanwhile, the Cardinals and Pirates will play a double dip in Pittsburgh. Pirates walloped them last night, and they definitely have the Cardinals in their sights in first place. Pirates still playing good baseball as we're getting ready to wrap up the month of July. The Phils, well, they're going to host San Francisco. What do you say about the Phillies? If you were any doubt, they are definitely sellers if they want to be going in to the deadline for the trades. Mets play Miami, and the Yankees are out on the left coast. They'll open up a 2-game set against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. Now, here's the way it looks. With the win last night, Joe Maddon's club, they now have a half-game lead over the Red Sox. The Orioles still lurking, 10 games over 500, and they're 5 games back. The Yankees, 7 back, but still within striking distance. And, oh, by the way, if you look at the wild card, the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Yankees, they're all within 2 games of the wild card lead. The only team out of it, Toronto. Meanwhile, in the National League East, well, this is why I'm saying the Phils, you might as well say it's all over with for this year. The Phils are 11 games out of first place, and it's very unlikely they're going to come back and win this division. Atlanta, as you see, well, they've been playing good baseball, and they have a 9-game lead over the Nationals, who still are 2 games under the 500 mark. How hard to believe is that? They were one of the preseason favorites, and with 2 months to go, they're under the 500 mark. In the National League Central, there's what we're talking about. The Pirates playing as good at baseball as anybody in the major leagues. Just a half a game behind. The Cardinals are going to try to flip over them tonight with that doubleheader. The Reds playing very good baseball, but they're 5 back, so don't count them out, particularly with the wild card encounter as well. Tonight's sports is brought to you by Mountain Speedway. Here's a look at this weekend's action. It's going to be busy. The racing will begin at 6, so plenty of action this Saturday. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free, and if you're active military or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
And here's what our media partner, the Standard Speaker, is working on for tomorrow's edition. Testimony continues in the second day of a hearing for 3 Penn State administrators charged in the Jerry Sandusky scandal. You can read all about it in the Tuesday edition of the Standard Speaker. And on a more somber note, the SSPTV family is mourning the loss of a friend, a colleague, and up-and-coming reporter. News 13's Alex Sellen passed away suddenly earlier this week, and Alex is originally from Greater Philadelphia area and graduated from Syracuse University. He was interning here for the last several weeks. The News 13 team won't be the same without him.
See, it's not that bad being on camera, is it?
You know, Alex, just having a son of my own and hearing the news, we were very shocked and very saddened. Alex, from the first moment I met him, I could tell he was a smart, ambitious, outgoing young man, and he just was full of life. And, you know, everyone here at SSPTV, from internships to news anchors to news directors, everyone is treated like family.
Take 1.
Alex came for the interview. He was truly a respectful young man. And I said, Alex, we're going to give you a shot. We're going to try it, because he impressed me. And he came on as an intern. He was a true gentleman, hardworking young man.
Admission free, but the flags are also. Only one thing is asked, that you hold them high.
I remember one of the first days he worked that Matt and I took him to Jimmy's, and we sat down, and we never had our first Jimmy's experience together. We all got hot dogs, and we just we just talked about Hazleton and what we want to do, what our future aspirations are as reporters, and kind of we have that bond because we're doing the same thing, and it's kind of crazy because he's the same age as us, that something like this that you could pass so young.
And a dealer here at Grand Central tells me it's not just AC units that are going out in this kind of weather, but also things like refrigerators.
He was really into what he did. He was really into journalism, and he loved going out on different shoots, and he was just really into it, and he was definitely going to go far.
Thank you, I will.
Yourself around. I think that.
I'll say goodbye before I leave.
Yeah, take your time.
Thanks.
Whatever you need.
Appreciate it, Angela.
Yeah.
He was just full of eagerness and willing to learn, and he loved being a journalist. And his personality was very infectious. When he would come in, he would be smiling, very courteous, saying good morning to everyone, asking how everyone is. Great guy to get along with.
Alex is really going to be missed around here, and I think really the future of journalism is kind of lost someone who could have really impacted it. So definitely News 13 is gonna miss him. He was definitely a part of the family here, even though he was only here for a bit.
You sound great. Have a great evening, okay?
It really does break my heart to see him pass because, as having children of my own and him dying suddenly, it's really heartbreaking.
Give it a thumbs up to the camera. Alex Sellen, News 13 in Hazleton.
Our news director, Kathy Bazinski, is off today, but she remembers Alex as smart, funny, talented, promising, and he was a terrific writer. Our hearts and prayers go out to his family and loved ones. We'll be right back.